A report has come out that Manchester United find themselves in some kind of debt situations with the cost of transfers, bad decision making. So, what is the true cost of those mistakes? We'll talk about that and so much more of the Earth Week in Sports here on Point of View. My name is Bobby Munson, and sat beside me. He's here to brighten up your Sunday. My good friend Andre, 2/3. Everyone, see. How are you doing today, Andre?
I am awake.
Wake's a start.
I was up till 2:40 this morning watching F1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the Chinese Grand Prix was at 1 a.m. my time. So, yeah, and then went to sleep and then got up about 7:30 this morning. Just my body just was like, your time to wake you up. It just my body hates me after 5 hours of sleep. It's just less than 5 hours of sleep. It's just like, it's time to get up. So yeah, watch that. Well, it was great.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. You're taking yourself a nap after the show today.
No, I have things to do.
Oh, do you? Okay, well, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about and I can't go to bed early because I've got to interview Mitch Clark tonight. So,
my, busy man. So,
yep.
While we've got it going, currently Manchester United playing Aston Villa live right now on your Sunday matchup. Game is tied 0-0 at the half. We'll be going into second half here soon. I'll try to give periodic updates as we go along. You'll probably be able to tell by my tears whether they're tears of happiness or tears of sadness. Make you know who's scored the goals. Good morning, Zach. Thanks for joining us here on this.
The trees are 0-0 right now with Fulham. Let's go trees.
Hello,
go trees.
That's pretty good for them actually. That's
if the trees get relegated, if trees end up getting relegated, I'm becoming a Fulham fan.
Oh, so you're going for the AEW team
yeah.
AEW all around. Okay,
that's right. If the trees get relegated, I'm going to become a Fulham fan. So just be ready for that.
Fair enough. All right, buckled up, ready to go. But yeah, currently it scores 0-0. Again, this is the fight in the table kind of thing. Man United win, they stay third. They lose, they will lose that spot. Again, we really needed to get the European football because European footy could be the difference maker in terms of getting money back for the club next season. Something that Manchester United desperately needs at this moment because there has been years of these bad transfer deals, Man United overpaying. Some people have dubbed it the Manchester United tax that teams are putting on because they know we get desperate because of our we as a team, Manchester United. I gotta stop saying we. I mean, it's not like I'm part of the team, but the club themselves.
You're a fan. You're a passionate fan. I'm a diehard. Part of the team.
Definitely a diehard.
What it is.
But yes, they have had this habit of naming these targets that they want to get for the team each summer, and then they go out there and these teams just know that they will laser focus on that person for so long that United will not ever win a bargain. We are bad at bargaining. We will go into it over and over and over again until we end up paying the amount that the team asked for in the first place. We never strike any good deals. We go for a lot of young, untested players, especially untested in the Premier League, and the pressure's on them to change the fortunes of this club around. And when it doesn't come about, they become kind of flops, so to speak. Getting dry mouth. Need the coffee. That's right. Yeah, here we go. All right. So this report comes out this week that the club actually owes 422 million pounds in unpaid transfer fees to other clubs. So the payment agreements for some of these players purchased over the last while has now amalgamated into this high dollar amount. Of that, so 238 million pounds has to be paid in the next 12 months. So in the next 12 months, Manchester United have to have 238 million paid to other clubs for the financial agreements made for some of these players. So not to say that Manchester United doesn't have that kind of money in the bank. This isn't a bankruptcy situation, but it heavily affects our ability to do any transfer business come the transfer window without making sales of players. So now the the chances of recuperating all the money required for these players, especially even with any of them having a turnaround in business, is very unlikely. Now, I'll mention some of the players that have been mentioned in this article and the cost of these particular players. Rasmus Højlund, who came to the club for 64 million pounds. Joshua Zirkzee, who arrived at 36.5 million pounds. Manuel Ugarte, 50.5 million pounds. Andre Onana at 43.8 million pounds, and Mason Mount at 55 million. Now, Mason Mount, of the five of them, has probably had the most moments where there was glimpses of ability out on the pitch and everything and providing something on the pitch. There's a couple of problems. One, he's injury prone, and two, there is so many others that play in the same type of position that he does that it's kind of hard to make him your go-to guy, because there is other ones who do it a little bit better at the club. He'll never replace Bruno Fernandes. And yet he comes to us at a price tag similar to what we paid for Bruno Fernandes that many years later. And there's a vast difference in the playing capability between. But now years have passed since we paid that price. Again, Mason Mount probably not worth the value of 55 million if somebody was to purchase him from United. Andre Onana, who became, a real dud for Manchester United, arriving as our number one goalkeeper at the time.
Whoa. What? Anybody named Andre cannot be a dud. That is not possible.
Oh, no, this man is. Trust me. Like, he's butterfingers in the net when he plays for United. Like, it's so bad. The worst part is that we had a great goalkeeper in David De Gea, and they didn't want to renew his contract at the kind of money he was being paid at the time. He was willing to take a reduced contract in pay to stay at Manchester United, and they still let his contract expire, did not renew it, and brought in Onana to the team. And it was just a dip in quality overall. And it was just like, for that price tag, so now we had to pay for a keeper when we had the best option sitting right there, willing to stick around with the club. That's how dedicated he was to it, and why people still to this day hold him up as one of the best keepers we've ever had there. So again, it was bad fortune, because we go get Onana. We paid what we did, 43.8, I think I said. Let me check my note again here. Yeah, 43.8 million pounds that we brought him in for. Now we go ahead and we paid a lot less for Le Mans, who's in net again today, our number one keeper at the moment, and he's so much better. I mean, he is just a vast improvement over Onana, and at like a fraction of the price, which just goes to show that was a business done better. But in the past, we've really done this bad business, and it's still haunting us because Onana's out on loan right now. We still have him as part of the team. He even made a statement recently saying that he would like to come back and re-earn his spot as number one. Onana, man, it's going to take Le Mans breaking a freaking leg and being out for months for you to earn that spot back for Manchester United. And even then, we'll probably go purchase somebody else. I'm sorry to say, you're probably better off going to another division where you might be a little bit more comfortable. Premier League didn't work out, time to move on. But that's the thing, Andre, though, is like, this is a lot of money in a short period of time. And of course, due to financial fair play rules and things like that, that this situation can actually hurt our ability to go and spend more in the transfer window when we desperately need to spend in the transfer window. We desperately need a center midfield, at least one, and a good center midfield. Our chances of getting one for less than 60 million pounds is pretty much zero. I almost guarantee we're going to end up having to spend 80, 90, even 100 million to get a strong center midfield this summer, and we need one desperately. They're also talking about a left back. Yes, we need that as well. They're talking about a center back. I don't know how badly the center. I don't think they should make the center back a focus, because we have center backs. It's just they need time. They're young. They need Heaven and Euro. They're not perfect yet, but they're young, and the more that they play, the better they're going to get, and the better they'll understand each other too. So maybe that's just something that if we can't get somebody, we try to push out the young guys and see if they can hold up. We still got a couple of guys to back them up there that work in that position, but they're also talking about a winger. That was another one that was brought up, and I'm like, I guess we don't really have a natural left winger at Manchester United. Not anyone that comes to mind anyway. So I kind of get what they're talking about, especially with the way we're lining up. But before we can even spend, we got to figure out how we going to pay off all of this bad business, and it is costly. And it'll be a very interesting summer if they cannot turn around some profits. One of the big key things, they need European football. They need Champions League football. If they get Champions League football, they at least get the revenue from those games and the TV rights as well too. So that boosts up the club a little bit. But then it's about longevity in that Champions League, because if they don't even get out of the group stages, that doesn't leave a whole lot, and then they're right back to where they were before. And
yeah, it's tough in that sense. You see a team who probably one of the most recognizable teams in the world, and now you're hearing about financial issues. You're like, oh, how this management has just ruined everything. Oh, they scored.
Casemiro, 1-0 Manchester United.
Well, maybe if everybody's weird ass pipe dream and Man United wins the whole Premier League, that'll get them more money. That'll get them more money if they win the whole thing.
Well, that would, but let's not kid ourselves. The chances of that happening are pretty much zero. And that's not me trying to be ignorant or anything like that. That's my team. I would love if it were possible, but there's no way Arsenal's dropping the ball that badly. And even if Arsenal dropped the ball that badly, Manchester City's not going to drop the ball that badly. Neither one of those teams are both collectively going to just completely crap the bed this last part of the season with the, 10 or so games left in the season right now. Like, there's no way either one of those teams are going to let it slip enough that anybody else in this division has a chance of slipping into first place. It's just not happening. Basser, yo, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. Cold as shit outside, but nice and warm indoors here, and talking with people on a Sunday. It's all good. Yeah. How's the temperature out in Alberta there, Andre? Because, man, it's like I woke up, it was like minus 27 here or something like that without the wind.
The last few days have been a little chilly. Like yesterday morning getting up, it was like I got up yesterday morning to go see a movie, and it was like minus like 23, 24 out.
Yeah.
She was chilly. She was chilly yesterday. It only got up to like minus 13 here. Today it's right now minus 17. Supposed to get up to minus 8, and then we're supposed to be back up in the zero and pluses starting tomorrow.
Yeah, like later in the week, I think too. It's like there's a chance of hitting towards double digits on the plus side. I'm like, that's crazy. It just jumps right back and forth. It's like one more little blast of minus 30 this morning just before a nice little heat wave. It's wild. Our weather is crazy. Very crazy.
Alberta and Saskatchewan suck.
Yeah. You want to know what else is crazy, Andre? The World Baseball Classic's been on this week, and I was so excited that Canada, for the first time in our history, made it to the quarterfinals. And then, oh man, then we got beat by those Americans again. Once again. Yeah, that was our downfall. Damn USA. But it was cool to see us get that far. And let's not kid ourselves. That US team is stacked as shit.
There's two teams that you should always be scared of in in baseball. America and Cuba. Those are the two teams that just wreck shit in baseball, because like Cuba seems to put out some of the greatest baseball players of all time, and same with the United States of America. It's just like it seems like those are the two, and they're always the powerhouses. But just remember, Italy beat the USA this year. Just remember that. That's all that matters. Is Italy beat USA at some point this year. So the Americans are not as good as the Italians.
No. But you know what really matters is where you end up at the end, right? Like, you know,
Japan is the other team. Sorry, Japan's the other team that is absolutely wreck shit in the baseball classic, because they're just holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah.
But where are we at so we're at the semifinal stage now. It's USA and the Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. That's another team that's baseball right there.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that Japan lost to Venezuela is huge.
Yeah, and then so Venezuela and Italy. So we could end up having that Italy USA rematch technically in the final then.
Yeah, like whoever thought we'd be going the Italians, some of the greatest baseball players in the world. I would never think to say that. Like, just it's one of those ones that just makes me go, the Italians? Like,
maybe it's their time, man. Maybe it's their time.
Like, it just makes me you think, right? Like, it's just like, huh? Maybe I'm wrong with Cuba's like Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic, just absolute baseball like killers, right? So it's crazy, and like the fact that Canada got there when we're not known as like we have a baseball team. Don't get me wrong, but we're not known as a baseball country. Like, yeah, it's good. I'm just looking at the Italian roster right now. Like, outside of like a few players, most of their people play for in the MLB, which is you don't think about the Italians because you got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4, 5. I got 5, 6 people that aren't currently that don't play in, like 2 are free agents and 4 play in like an Italian baseball. 3 of them play in an Italian baseball league. Another one plays in another in Serie A1. But like out of everybody else plays for club, like are signed to major league clubs. There's a lot of players that play in like minor leagues, but like again, still high class that are Italian players. Like that's okay, interesting. Didn't know that.
Wild.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't realize Italians were so big in baseball. That you don't think of baseball when you think of Italy. It's odd.
Well, again, we might be seeing the rise of the Italian team here this year, taking the World Baseball Classic, because again, they could have that showdown with the U.S. and they could take it all. It is entirely possible. So stay tuned to that. Andre, let's go over to F1. You had a late night, I hear. So I want to give you the floor to talk a little F1.
I watched F1 last night. This morning. Sorry, no, I watched F1 this morning. Let's get that right. I watched F1 this morning. I started watching it at 1 a.m. my time, so even on the West Coast, it's still midnight. Like that's crazy. But again, it's in China. It's at 3 a.m. in China, so again, it was like a 1 a.m. start time for me, and yeah, great race. Good battling early on for positioning because you had Kimi Antonelli, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc from Mercedes, Ferrari, and Ferrari. Again, these 2 teams are going to be your top teams this year, it looks like, because McLaren can't build it. They did something. Something's wrong with their cars because Oscar Piastri had a meltdown in the pre-race warm-up in Australia, and the car went down. And today, neither McLaren even ran today. Both McLarens had electrical issues, and they couldn't even start the race, which is crazy. And then along with Alex Albon and Gabriel Bortoleto, both from Williams and Audi, respectively, both did not start the race. We have 4 DNSs in this race, which is crazy. And then again, second race in a row, Lance Stroll ended up spinning out and going out of the race. And then Fernando Alonso, both from Aston Martin, had to retire just due to car issues. And again, this is a really weird year in F1 because I have not heard of these again, we have a whole new build in cars this year, and it's crazy to see like the amount of people and then Max Verstappen's car fit the man who was world champion for the last few years up till last year had his car fail on him this year or today. So that's crazy for Max Verstappen's car to be failing. Like, you got to think there's some issues here with going on in this world. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli though, getting his first ever Formula One win at the age of 19 or 18 or 19. I can't remember how old he is right now. He is 19 years old. He is the second youngest winner in F1 history now to take a first place in a race. He's the second youngest. That is crazy. At 19 years old, has won his first. Has got his. This is his second podium of the year, because he was second place last week, and this is his first win in F1. This is huge. Mercedes is dominating like a motherfucker. They were dominating in the sprints yesterday. Yeah, like it was Kimi got fifth in the sprint, and George Russell got first in the sprint yesterday. Absolutely tremendous. Like it's just crazy. Like Lando Norris doing so good in the sprint yesterday, taking fourth place, and then his car just failing on him today and not being able to start. It's crazy. Like this season is going to be really interesting to watch, just to see which team. Like, because I'm just going to go over the constructors. Because right now, in first place, you have Mercedes, which is huge. They've taken first and second in both races. Their drivers have swapped it. And then you have Ferrari in second, which is great. McLaren, only getting a fifth place off last week, are still sitting in third, just due to the point total. But Haas, right behind Haas, freaking Haas. This team was when I started watching F1 like a few years ago. Haas was one of the worst teams out there. They could not get it together. They could not make their cars run properly. They could not get the money to do everything they wanted. They couldn't get the right drivers. They are doing absolutely tremendous. They are fourth freaking place right now in the constructors, with a seventh place and a fifth place finish to give them points in the last two races. That's huge. Red Bull Racing, the dominant name in racing for these last few years, is sitting in fifth. That is crazy. The Racing Bulls right behind them in sixth, Alpine in seventh, Audi in eighth, Williams sitting kind of where they always do in ninth, and Ferrari in 10th, or Cadillac Ferrari in 10th, and then Aston Martin sitting in 11th, just sucking out loud. Technically, Cadillac and Aston Martin are tied with 0 points, but because Cadillac has only had one retirement versus Aston Martin has had 3 retirements, in this season, they're technically ahead, but yeah, this is just this season is going to be so much fun to watch. Last season was really cool to see a new team kind of take over last year in McLaren, these last couple of years, and then now just seeing with all these new changes, seeing Ferrari and Mercedes on top doing what they do, and yes, fucking Lewis Hamilton taking third in this race. I hate it in a way, because I hate giving praise to Lewis Hamilton, because the man was again, I you know why. I think you might know why I have an issue with giving praise to Hamilton. It stems from last season. Last F1 season we talked about this. But yeah, it just, and then my boy Lance Stroll just can't catch a break, man. Spinning out today, having to retire the car last week, because I feel so bad for my Canadian boy. Like, he doesn't deserve it. He's Canadian. He deserves to do well in F1. He doesn't deserve to have his cars failing on him. Oh man, but I'm loving F1 right now. I highly recommend it to anyone, because it's so much fun to watch right now. And just with the upheaval of the cars, Haas doing such a great position, it's going to be such a crazy cool season to watch, because you never know what's going to happen. Because like in 2 months, Mercedes cars could be failing on them, and Alpine could rise up from 7th to 1st. It's anybody's game this year, because with these 50-50 engines, these 50% electric, 50% combustion, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world in what we're. I had to. It's a whole new thing we're looking at this year. It's crazy. So I can't wait to see what this season does, because it's going to be insane. Like seeing Haas where they're sitting, and seeing these teams do it, and like Alpine having a really great day, a 6th and a 10th place. That is huge for Alpine. That is huge. This is a team that was at bottom of the barrel last year. They came in last year, and they've already had the fact that both of their cars have finished both weeks now, it is a successful race. It's a successful race for Alpine because there was a lot of worry about Alpine coming in, and they're not the ones failing. It seems like McLaren, teams like Audi, those are the ones that those are the ones that are failing. Alpine is looking strong. Aston Martin is the biggest failure this year right now, which is sad to say because I love me some Lance Stroll. But it's going to be a hell of a season this year because I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. We have coming back in 2 weeks. We're gonna have the Japanese Grand Prix, which is again great for me. 11 p.m. It's okay. I don't have to stay up as late. I don't have to stay up till about 31 o'clock to watch that, which is okay. Yeah. And then you get the and then it's just you have the Miami Grand Prix. So we do have a couple cancellations for F1 right now. The Bahrain Grand Prix and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix have been canceled due to everything, the wars going on in the Middle East right now, which I completely understand. So we're actually going to have. So the crazy part is you're going to have the Japanese Grand Prix on the 28th, and then we have a month off until so every year they take about a month off during the summer for a summer break to give the drivers some downtime so they're not always having to train and everything. They're getting a spring break, a month-long spring break. Yes, they're going to have to train, but they're going to get at least a week or two just to kind of take to themselves, which you don't usually get in this time with Bahrain and Saudi being canceled. Again, it's outside of the control of F1. The world is just in upheaval right now. I think right now the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Abu Dhabi and Qatar are still scheduled, but they're at the end of the season. But again, Las Vegas could end up being the last race of the whole year, depending on how this war goes, because Qatar and Abu Dhabi are right there. So, like, those could be, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of insane to say, like, we've already had 2 races canceled. There's a potential for at least 2 more races to be canceled, like, at the end of the season. So, like, that could be a huge shift, because if you have teams going into Las Vegas as your final, that could be insane. So, like, it's we'll see. Again, we still have the whole rest of the season to go. But again, I don't feel like the other things in the world are going to get any better right now. So I'm so happy I can just kind of ignore a lot of things in my life and just love sports and love F1, love all the shit that's going on in football, even though the sport's not on, and just love everything that has nothing to do with the shit that affects us most. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Quick update. Aston Villa has scored. The game is now 1-1. So yes, not looking great, but we'll touch more on that.
But you're not losing. You're not losing.
Not That's losing. What matters. There's still hope. Maybe Sesko will come on and be a star maker again from the bench and get us another goal. We'll see.
Benjamin
There's hope.
Sesko. I actually know his name because you've said it so many times. I know his whole name. Yeah.
He's our boy. He's our boy.
I'm learning. Okay.
All right. I'm going to step over to a couple of articles here that I wanted to touch on this week. First one coming out of the NBA. We are the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, currently in a strike, not a strike situation, sorry, negotiations over contracts here. They believe that the one that's currently been tabled is going to be enough to maybe get this over the line, but there's no guarantee. There's been talks of possibility of strike because, again, they're cutting it down to the wire according to what needs to happen to get the season going in terms of free agencies and bringing people up, draft the draft that needs to happen as well too, and everything. All of that needs to start rolling very, very quickly here before the start of the WNBA season. In order for that to happen, they basically, I think, if I'm not mistaken, said it needs to be handled by this coming Friday in order for them to properly start preparing for the season. Otherwise, it could jeopardize the start of this year's season. Again, I believe that the women should fight for better contracts. The league has been around long enough. I think that it has become hopefully more profitable, especially in the.
It's not. The problem is the league is not profitable. The league, and again, I'm all for these women making money. I'm all for get your money, get paid. I say that to every man, woman, get your money, get paid. That is, if you're doing something at a high enough level, you deserve to be paid for it.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I think these women do a lot, and they deserve to be paid for it. But you don't have a sustainable model right now. The NBA funds the WNBA. Like, the NBA itself is paying to keep these teams soluble, keeping this league soluble. It does not have the fan base that supports it right now. I wish it did. I'm not a basketball fan, so I don't watch it because I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not a fan of the sport itself. I watch some like playoff stuff like I do with other sports, but it's not a sport. So I don't watch the women's game. I'm sorry to say. I've watched during their playoffs and stuff. I watched the women's game during the playoffs and stuff, like I think everybody else does with a lot of sports. You watch during the playoffs, right? I don't watch baseball during the regular season, but I watch it during the World Series. But they're not a self-sustaining league. So I understand wanting to get paid, but like when they're talking about revenue sharing and things like that, it's like you don't have a proper revenue to share. Oh, they scored?
Yeah, 2-1. Cunha.
Yes. Let's go Cunha. But like you don't have, when you're still being funded by another league to keep everything afloat, you don't have a right to revenue share and all these other things. Yes, I understand these women. I don't think being that the sport is still being propped up, I'm saying you don't deserve to make what NBA players are making at this point, because again, you're not sustaining a league that is that big yet. Yes, they should be making more than they are making now because they're not making a crap ton of money as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm also a person that only makes a certain amount of money per year. So anybody that makes like 100,000 plus a year, I'm like, isn't that enough to live on, you jackass? That's all. I also say this to every man, to every football player that I've been reading that have been signing these $100 million contracts. I'm like, and people are saying, "Oh man, they're worth so much more." What? How is somebody that's signing a 4-year, $100 million contract worth so much more? I'm like, they're to make it $25 million a year. What the? How? I don't. It's the weirdest thing, because we talk about these players deserving more money, yet all of us kind of live on our incomes that we do, and it's so messed up in a way. Like I want these women I want the WNBA to succeed, because the more sports that succeed in this world, the better. The more that means the more opportunities for more people. But until you're a self-sustaining league, you can't be expecting crazy salaries. Get your money. I agree they should be getting paid more 100%, and that's the biggest part of their fighting for. But like, you look at things talking about revenue sharing and other, like, yeah, like I get it, but right now, if you put revenue sharing as a provision for when the league is properly making money, sure, but the league isn't probably making money now. It is being sustained by the NBA, so hopefully the women can make more money. But if you want to make the money the men do, like the people talk about, you need to have a league that performs like the men's league does. And the funniest part is, women don't support the WWE. Women do. I'm not saying no women support, but majority of that fan base is men. The majority of the WNBA fan base is men. So I think if you want the league to succeed, you need more women to get behind the sport and watch it and be there, support it, and that's what'll help bring this league up. It's like when your fan base is majority men, great, the men are supporting the league, but that majority is still very small. And when the women are even smaller of the piece of the pie that are supporting the league, that's a failure, because you want to see women supporting women's league too. You know what I mean? Like, and by statistics, they're not. So that's another failure on the world of that sport. So again, it's finding the support systems that they do not have right now. So it's how they can make more money is finding the right people to be fans of the sport, and that's the biggest issue of that sport right now. Is the fans getting involved.
See, and it's funny to think, like when you say self-sustaining league, because like from the footy world, it's a little bit different, right? Like you have a club, and your club has a women's league team, and you have a men's team in all the age groups. Success on those teams is rated on those teams. Now, granted, it's weird because the whole overall club ownership is of Manchester United, but Manchester United's women are constantly winning far more than the guys ever are. Mm-hmm. But they definitely are not getting the kind of paychecks that these guys are getting. And it's, not that they don't deserve it too. These women are starting to make headlines. They're really making names for themselves. There is becoming more support. It needs to be bigger, though. It definitely needs to be bigger. I think people need to treat it just the same. The women's team upholds the same values that Manchester United does on the men's side as well, too. And I think in those cases where it's an overall club, support the overall club. Don't just support, one gender or the other. I think that the overall support of the club is what makes the club successful. And if they can keep, continuing that kind of success, especially on the ladies side, because trust me, United ladies right now are a lot more tough looking than what the guys are looking. We're a little fragile at times, even if we did score a second goal and are up 2-1. It goes without saying, they've done very well for themselves. And yeah, we are saying, I think the both of us are getting to the point of support ladies sports as well too, so that the women can get paid what they deserve to be paid. So, and from there, I got another article here about there's a really bad hit in the NHL recently in a game between the Leafs and the Sabres. Leafs captain Austin Matthews is going to end up missing 16 games of the season after getting a grade 3 MCL tear and quad contusion.
I'm sorry for that reaction, but I hate the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Austin Matthews can go eat a dick. I'm sorry. I'm sad that he's hurt. I'm sad for him that he's hurt. I feel bad for him, but I'm happy because that takes them, that keeps that fucking team at the bottom of the division. Makes me happy. The Toronto Maple Leafs. I hope you get well soon, Austin Matthews. But fuck yes.
But fuck you, right? Like holy.
Fuck yes. Fuck that team. But I feel bad for you, Austin Matthews. But fuck the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Well, the argument is about the suspension that is happening. Radko Gudas, who was it was a game with the Ducks. My apologies. He plays for the Ducks, defenseman there, and it was knee on knee hit that ended up happening that caused this whole thing, and he is now going to be suspended for 5 games. Which, again, the Leafs are a little bit miffed about. They've gone and lost their captain, and as a result, they believe that the penalty should have been a lot stronger than a 5-game ban. But what is the ruling in hockey generally, Andre, in this kind of situation? Like, is a 5-game ban generally like a top ban for a hit?
It depends, right? It depends on the hit. It's very. I'm looking. I saw the hit a few days ago. I'm looking at it again. But like, it's about severity. There's a lot of things that go into a suspension on a hit. There's intention. There was, like, again, sticking the leg out like he did is technically considered intention. Is part of considered intention. You know what I mean? Oh, the score again?
Yeah, Sesko came on and scored, baby. 3-1.
Perfect.
We're taking it.
But like the league does look at extending the leg for those kind of hits as. I'm sorry, I'm just replaying it right now. Hold on. I'm just kind of looking at it. I only saw it briefly. And I don't feel like he could have stood and pulled up a little bit. I do feel there's a little bit of intention in that hit, looking back at it again. But it's not like blatantly, I'm going at your knee. That he was playing in, and you can see, and they did collide, but it wasn't like the leg was out. He had it leg very bent with the knee, his own knee sticking out, Gudas, and he clipped the knee. So like not full intention, but I think that was an avoidable hit. I think 5 games is appropriate in this one because, again, you took a guy out that is a very kind of dirty kind of hit, and he is very injured out of it too. Like his intention, how injured is a person? Like if Alton Masters is only out for a game or two, I feel like you just only gotten maybe a game or two, but you can't give him like the same amount of time. Like there's a I don't feel it was completely intentional, but I think it could have been a lot cleaner. Or like, and I know people are going after like right now, people are yelling. I can't remember his name. The dude from the Montreal Canadiens that hit Igor Denadrov, the dude from the Sharks. He clipped him, and you saw him spin around. His head kind of bounce off the ice, and he was all kind of like really wobbly getting up. But that hit, I watched that hit. I don't know how many times. It makes me happy because it's a Montreal Canadian player making the hit. He hit him clean. Where that isn't where the Austin Matthews good hit is not a completely clean hit. You know what I mean? Like it's intention. It's how you hit them. It's how there's a lot of factors that player safety goes into when making a decision on suspension. You know what I mean? There's a lot. It's not just like you hit this guy, you're out for 4 games. There's no like set. I feel it's probably the similar sense in if somebody does something in footy, how long a person gets kicked out for, right? There's intention to things. You know what I mean? It's not always a set thing. That's what makes it hard to say, is it appropriate? I think so. I know Ducks fans are going to be like, this is bullshit. It's only going to be a couple games. But you did take the guy out for a good while, too, on top of it. So, like, you kind of got to factor in how long the other player is going to be out, right? Mm-hmm. So, my brain always goes back to Todd Bertuzzi, that giant sack of garbage, grabbing the Colorado Avalanche player by the back of his neck, wheeling around and punching him in the face, and then driving him forward into the ice. The man had never played a game of hockey after that. I can't remember his name, but he never played a game of hockey after that. And Todd Bertuzzi got banned for the rest of the year. In my opinion, he should have been banned for life, but fuck Todd Bertuzzi. He's a giant piece of shit. But yeah, it's all about intention. Like that's completely intentional hurting somebody. So that guy should be banned for the rest. And he was banned for the rest of the season and the playoffs. But like, those are the kind of things that's where you kind of got to factor in, and how did they hit? There's all those different factors in. And again, I think it's appropriate because I think there's a little bit of intention in there. Because I feel like he could have pulled up a bit and he would have clipped Austin Matthews, but I don't think he would have clipped him that hard knee on knee if he kind of pulled up a bit. You know what I mean? Because you could see how bent that knee was. It was like aiming in a bit. Like it was kind of dirty, man.
Yeah.
Kind of dirty.
Well, we ask you, the people watching in the chat or in the comment section afterwards, what do you think? Is 5 games enough of a ban? We're curious to get your thoughts on that. Andre, we're getting closer to the top of the hour, and I know you got some more news for us, especially NFL stuff. Definitely want to cover.
Yes. Holy shit. Holy freaking shit. Yeah. This might be the craziest free agency period I've ever seen in my life. Oh, did I just drop out?
No, you're there. Here? No, it's just on your side, maybe, but no, you're
just kind of did the weird I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Something was happening to me, and I got a weird reset symbol, but we're good. Holy crap. Yeah. This offseason has been crazy so far. The trades, and now free agency has been insane. We have seen so many big moves. Let's talk. I got to talk about this. Like, I pulled up Sporting News. So I'm looking at an article from the Sporting News, and they have ranked from this past week every team from 1 to 32nd on how well they did in this free agency trash trade. You know who did the best according to them? And I kind of agree. Kansas City Chiefs. Keeping Travis Kelce around, which is he kind of was they got it covered. But holy crap. Getting running back Kenneth Walker III from the champion Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
That is the biggest piece of their offense that was kind of failing for them. And they just shored their backfield up in the greatest possible way. I'm scared of how the Chiefs with Kenneth Walker running that ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, and that man, and also Kenneth Walker can catch,
mm-hmm.
and you have Patrick Mahomes throwing to him when they want to do screen passes and shit. This is going to be scary.
I'm surprised the Seahawks let him go, to be honest.
Yeah, but he also wanted a lot of money, and that's where I think the Seahawks don't have. That's the problem. The Seahawks I don't think had the money, the open there, because like they are rated super low.
Yeah.
Like and they give the money to Rashid Shaheed, which don't get me wrong, there was a great 1-2 in Walker and Shaheed last year. Not the guy, not the dude you should have been doing your best to keep. Like, I'm sorry. That was not the dude. And then they sign Emmanuel Wilson. Good player. He's not Kenneth Walker III, though. That man is going to go completely shift the Kansas City. He's going to shift their backfield into something amazing. And you let him go after winning a goddamn championship. At least you got your championship out of him. At least they got the championship out of him. That's the big thing. At least they got the championship out of him, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yeah.
And then I got to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Holy shit. Signing Michael Pittman Jr., the man I never thought I'd be talking about after the season with in running back Rico Dowdle. I thought that man had an amazing season in Carolina with taking over in the backfield due to injuries and having an amazing year. This man is getting paid now. And he's going to be on the Steelers where he could possibly be leading that backfield next year, or at least be playing in a great 1-2 system. I cannot wait. The Pittsburgh Steelers have kind of leveled up in this offseason. Like dropping Gainwell, I think the running back Kenneth Gainwell was a bad thing, losing him. And same with Calvin Austin and Jonnu Smith. But I think they've done a very good job because picking up Pittman Jr. to replace Calvin Austin III, I think is an insane upgrade. That is an insane upgrade. So this team is going to be scary this year. And then your Washington Commanders. Holy crap. Like the signings that they did. They got yes, they lost Von Miller, which sucks because he was a great edge rusher for them. They lost Deebo Samuel, which I'm not mad that he's gone because you got Rashad White, which is a huge pickup in the backfield. I cannot say this dude's name, but I can say his last name, Okonkwo. He's a tight end. You sign him up. He's great. As a Chigozium Okonkwo. Yeah, that's the problem. Who's going to throw the ball to Pittman? And that's the fucking stupid ass problem. I don't like. Again, the team has upgraded in a great way, but they haven't. There's still pieces they need, and that's the fucked up part. Is that it's right now? It's what Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. That's. I really thought that they were I thought the Steelers were going to be going after Kyler Murray. I really did. But no, he's a Viking now. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. But yeah, the Washington Commanders are gonna. I think have shored up a couple and re-signing Marcus Mariota as the backup to one Jaden Daniels is a great. It's a great little insurance. Keep yourself from completely being screwed if Jaden goes down again. But yeah, oh God, I really hope he doesn't come back. Yeah, that's right, Rogers. So he hasn't re-signed for the year yet. That's why I didn't kind of put him in place. But yeah, I was hoping. I blissfully forgot about the man, which made me happy for a minute. And then you had to bring him. Then you had to bring him up, Lamath. You had to bring him up. Why does anybody ever have to bring up? And his old coach is there too, which is the worst part. His old coach is there, which.
Now Zero Sleep Andre is getting frustrated. Take that drink.
I just want to go through a couple other teams. I want to go a couple other teams. Carolina Panthers picking up Kenny Pickett. I think a good signing for them. Let's see. The Ravens. The Baltimore fucking Ravens, man. So you trade your first round picks for the next 2 years to the Las Vegas Raiders, who for Max Crosby, amazing deal for the Las Vegas Raiders. Amazing deal for the Raiders. And then you nix the trade on his physical, even though you know the man just had knee surgery. You can't technically pass a physical at the moment because he's still recovering from knee surgery. I think you realize how much shit you got for yeah. They realize how much shit they got for that deal and nixed it out. That is exactly what happened. And then you go and sign Trey Hendrickson. Okay. He's great. He's a great edge rusher, but he's not Max Crosby. I'm sorry. So, and then they let a lot of people go. Like Isaiah Likely's gone. Linderbaum's gone. Like, that's the messed part. Is they let a lot of people go, and that is it's gonna be messed up, man. San Francisco 49ers, man, picking up wide receiver Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is a huge piece added to that team. Absolutely tremendous. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's rock this. I can't wait to see him play in that jersey. Las Vegas Raiders picking up that man Tyler Linderbaum from that was let go by the Ravens. Not a bad little run for them, but nothing crazy. Jalen Naylor coming in. But the best thing they did is they traded away Geno Smith. And that is the greatest thing this team ever fucking did. And they still and they still have Max Crosby to deal because Max Crosby does not want to play against Raider. We know that. They can still deal him. That is the biggest part, is they can still deal Max Crosby to somebody. They're not getting 2 first-round picks. That's not going to happen. Like, nobody's going to be Ravens dumb again, but they can still trade away Max Crosby for something. And it's going to happen. It's just, what are they going to get for this time? There's going to be at least 1 first-round pick in there with probably another couple second or third round picks, but there's not going to be 2 first rounders. It's not happening. I just don't think that's happening.
That was too good a deal to be true.
Oh God. Just stupid. New Orleans Saints. I know fuck the Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
But they got Travis Etienne Jr. overpaid a little, in my opinion. But the dude, I think, was stuck in a Jaguars backfield that just did not work for him, where I think going to the Saints and kind of being paired as a 1-2 with Alvin Kamara will be a great system for him. And I think you will really see a resurgence of the Saints backfield this year, and also picking up tight end Noah Fant and guard David Edwards. I think great upgrade for them there. I'm just kind of looking through teams that I want to talk about. Don't give a shit about them. Buffalo Bills, kind of mid-grade team this year. Getting DJ Moore. We talked about him. We talked about him last year. I'm going to talk about him in a minute because it's going to. They're a team I want to talk because they're one of the worst. That was one of the worst teams to be doing shit in free agency. But yeah, Buffalo Bills pick up DJ Moore, Bradley Chubb, picking up a second quarterback with the name Allen, in Kyle Allen as a backup to one Josh Allen. So interesting little point. But again, not a bad little run for them. Then the Minnesota goddamn Vikings doing me proud and taking Kyler Murray away from my goddamn, like, Kyler Murray was let go and now he's the Vikings problem. I hope for Kyler Murray that he does get a resurgence in this team because again, I know part of the problem was him. Part of the problem was the scheme he was under in Arizona. I think that getting out of there will help him. But the problem is Call of Duty is coming out in the fall. And that's going to ruin Kyler Murray, as it does every single year. Call of Duty is the biggest problem with Kyler Murray. We all know it.
And now he's a Viking.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins, I think, did a good job this season. Picking up, getting rid of Tua Tagovailoa while still having to pay out his guarantees. Don't get me wrong. But picking up Malik Willis, I think, is a good shift for them. I think is a good change for them. It will help really turn their team around. Getting a new kicker in Zane Gonzalez, doing a lot of work on their defense, and Lonnie Johnson at safety, and Darryl Baker at cornerback. Yeah. I think they're doing some good things, and I think with Malik Willis under center, even though he had a couple good games this year and he got a great contract out of it, I don't know, but I think he's going to be I don't think he has the pure talent that Tua does, but he's not concussion prone like Tua. So that's the biggest upgrade for them, is they don't have a concussion prone quarterback anymore. That's the biggest thing for them. I'm just going to jump down. Fuck the Eagles. Yeah, they had a very meh free agency. There's a team that our once in a blue moon co-host wants me to talk about, but fuck them. Fuck New England completely. That's all I'm going to say about them. Let's talk about the New York Jets. Right now, the Sporting News has them ranked as the worst performing team in free agency. Okay. You trade for Geno Smith. Why? He was a Jet years ago. He sucks. The man shouldn't be playing football. You did Las Vegas such a great service in taking Geno Smith that they didn't have to cut him. They didn't have to do anything with him because they traded him away. Why did you trade for Geno Smith? Why? I just did anybody not see how badly he performed last year? And he's only going to get worse. Don't get me wrong. You have Justin Fields, who hasn't been performing. But Justin Fields, oh, fuck you. You're going to. Hey, guess what? You didn't win again. You lost the Super Bowl, you jag. But yeah, I think Justin Fields is the better option over Geno Smith. Like, just simply put, he's the better option. Like, I don't understand. Then picking up Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, not a bad pickup, but he's getting older and he's getting slower and safety. So he's not really a great upgrade. He is a lateral move. Really, this team is just as shitty as it was. This team might be shittier than it was last year with Geno Smith under center. And then one of the worst performing teams in here, rated at number 29, my Arizona Cardinals. Hey, we got Tyler Leager. I think that's a great pickup. Getting the Falcons number 2 running back on coming in to enter the backfield of Arizona. I'm very happy about that. And we got Gardner Minshew.
You sound excited.
It's not an upgrade at quarterback, and I can tell you that for sure. The fuck did Ed just say? Jets Roto.
I'm not sure.
Jets Roto Het. Jets Roto Het. I don't know what the hell you're saying. Like, I don't know anymore. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's probably true. But I'm hoping that's what the Cardinals do this year, because I'm hoping that's why they picked up Minshew, is to hopefully throw the league and get freaking Arch Manning next year, because I would love to see Arch Manning under center for Arizona. Because we didn't do much other than Tyler Leaguer. We picked up wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, and offensive tackle Matt Pryor, and defensive tackle Roy Lopez. Like, it's just, it makes me sad that I'm going to my team, that I'm going to have to be picking this team next year, and they're going to be losing most of the games I'm going to be picking, because I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to follow your rule. I'm going to follow that rule next year. I'm going to pick Cardinals every week, but makes me sad. At least Jacoby, at least they can switch off game by game. They can go like 1 week have Gardner Minshew play, next week have Jacoby Brissett play, then the next week have Minshew play, the next week have Jacoby Brissett play. At least neither has to be a full-time quarterback this year. That's all I can say about the Arizona Cardinals.
They can take turns. It'll be nice.
Yeah. I don't know. Just
have fun with that.
This offseason has been insane, though. Just like it's don't like give it up to the Colts for re-signing Daniel Jones, a lot of big contract, but like, why the fuck did they pay Alec Pierce so fucking much? He's only had one season so far to really show you how good he is, and he does not deserve the money, $100 million over 4 years after one season. That's a little much, but yeah, I think it's time to get out of here because I've been talking long enough.
Yeah, we end the show just like that with a whole lot of talk of the off season, but it's been a lot of great talk here today, and I'm gonna now turn it over to Andre to let you know where you can find him outside here, what he's got coming up.
X and Blue Sky at That Canada, Instagram and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can see me over on see me right here next Sunday for Point of View, starting on March 26th, Thursday, March 26th. You can find us doing the Marvel talk again. We're going to be chit-chatting all of Daredevil Daredevil Born Again season 2. I will not be on the first episode. It will be my boy Ed and my girl Peggy as they talk about the first episode of Daredevil Born Again. I will be back the following week. I'm going to miss the first episode and I think the 5th episode of that show because I have to work at pro wrestling. I think they got to do with professional wrestling and ring announcing, so I'll be missing a couple shows. But you can check them out over at Marvel Talk starting on March 26th as we do Daredevil Born Again. And then you can find me over on Backbreaker Media, over on Backbreaker Video, where I talk all the independent wrestling that I go and watch. And this week over on Backbreaker Video, you will find myself and my co-host AWS as we interview, because we're interviewing him tonight. We're supposed to do it last week, but shit got delayed. We're interviewing him this evening, and that will be out in the next couple of days. We're going to be chatting with former UFC superstar and current Western Canadian independent wrestling awesomeness legend, amazing all-around dude, one Mitch Clark, the ultra-violent one himself. We'll be chatting with him about his UFC career, his independent wrestling career, everything that we can talk about with him in the world of his career. I want to talk to him about his amateur wrestling stuff in college. We're talking about all of it, and we're going to chat about it today, and I'll be out over the next couple of days for Pop Spot Presents over on Backbreaker Video. Check that out.
Fantastic. As for myself, Bobby Munson, down on the X at Real Bobby Munson, Instagram and Threads, Video Bros SK, Twitch, Video Bro _ Bobby Munson, and Blue Sky, BobbyMunson.bsky.social. As for where you can find me, of course, you can find me Thursday nights with Papa Smokes here talking about independent wrestling, history of pro wrestling. We're going to have another indie wrestling review coming at you this Thursday night, just confirming up that we know which one 100%. We think we have a good idea. We'll talk about that later in the week. But yes, you can also find myself, Bob Smokes, every Saturday afternoon over the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel as your commentary team. This Saturday, as in yesterday, we just dropped the first ever steel cage match in Prairie Pro Wrestling history, the most violent match in Prairie Pro Wrestling history. Go check it out. It is now available on the channel for your viewing pleasure. And of course, I'll be back here next Sunday with Andre, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Yes.
So I'm about to hype point your show from this past. I just hit the hype points of your show this past Thursday.
Thank you, sir. I was actually just going to say, if you're watching on mobile, at least 24 hours after this show airs live or any other show on the channel airs live, we have the ability to collect hype points. Now, what hype points are is on your mobile phone, you can actually scroll over on the video itself when you're watching, and you get up to 3 hype points per week that you can give to any one of the shows here on the channel. Now, with doing that, it actually helps us rise up the hype charts. The more we rise up the hype charts, the more we get seen by other people as well, too, that can enjoy the content and be part of the live experience here on our local establishment. So I'm going to throw Lee's contact information. There's us on all social media, on YouTube and Twitch. We're also YouTube and Twitch partners. You can subscribe to these channels. You can give super chats. You can give super stickers. You can give bits over on the Twitch side. We accept it all, and we appreciate the love and support from every single one of you who are out here helping us out. Yes, have a great day, Lamath. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being active in the chat here. Appreciate
Thank you for ruining my day, Lamath. Thank you for making me think
that happens too. But we love it, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And until next Sunday, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.